today's guest is JJ. JJ is an international speaker and expert on personal branding who helps other people out there, other business owners, build their personal brand.
I want to help people, whether you run a bakery, whether you're a coach, whether you're an entrepreneur, like you want to do this, you're here. How do we get you to here?
So they become actually a category king in their space. He started his career as a magician,
and I started my career in the magic business, the entertainment business, and I was building my brand and my personality as someone to like get events, get gigs, get bookings.
And then he grew his YouTube channel to over 57 million views and seen in over 150 countries. And living his tricks, he started his company where he actually, taught people out there how to become the number one person in your category, how to be the category king. We're going to talk about all of those things as well. So without further delay, please welcome JJ.
Good morning,
hey, JJ.
Good afternoon, good evening. I feel like you say special guest on every episode, man. Every episode. Everyone's
I think everybody is a special guest, actually.
I want to be extra special. I want we have really a special guest for today. What's good, LJ?
Awesome. First of all, thank you so much for being on the show today.
What was that?
Awesome. Yeah, first of all, again, thank you so much for being on the show today out there. I think I'm super curious to know about like how your journey went from being a magician turned, being a business owner out there, like how the things actually started and you transitioned into business.
Yeah, man. 17 years ago, I wanted to do two things: stand on stage and tell everybody who I am and what I do and what I stand for. And I started my career in the magic business, the entertainment business. And I was building my brand and my personality as someone to like get events, get gigs, get bookings. But I struggled for so many years because I didn't understand the big things that I teach, that I've created for myself and teach others to do the same. Because I realized it wasn't about talent. It wasn't about how great you are or how great your information that you have or how knowledgeable you are. If you don't really know how to effectively get yourself out to the market and get people to see you over and over and over again, reconfirming like what you do for them, you just get forgotten. And until we figured that out, I struggled, man, for just so many years. I just didn't understand. We don't get told these things. We get led to believe like it's a fairy tale. Like just be really good, just be really pretty, just be like all the things that we get told, like it's not real. So I have this kind of calling now that I want to help people, whether you run a bakery, whether you're a coach, whether you're an entrepreneur, like you want to do this, you're here. How do we get you to here? And then I give my speciality and my magic to someone's growth.
Yeah, love it. So I'm super curious to ask, like, is there something from being a magician actually helped you being in business? What do you think?
Yeah, well, there's the ability to move people. If you can learn to effectively communicate with people, get them to listen to you, get them to be in the palm of your hand, get them to be on every word that you're saying, you have manipulation over them, persuasion over them. And at the end of the day, whether you're selling through words, selling through video, doing anything online, you need to capture people's attention. You need to get them to listen to you. And they have to be like, yeah, I like this guy. Like he's speaking to me. And everybody wants to automate everything, which is great. However, most people forget like the best way to take someone and close the deal, you need to speak to people. You need to communicate with people. You want to get people to listen to you. So I believe that what the ability of me running around the world, doing events in multiple countries for multiple years, is my magic was the ability to captivate any crowd. I could walk into any space.
Exactly.
I knew who the decision makers were. I knew who the alpha males were. I knew how to work the room. I knew how to get people on my side. And I think that's a very, very challenging skill set to be able to have if you don't have the runs on the board and you're not doing it. So yeah,
love it, 100%. So since you've actually helped out a lot of people out there in terms of personal branding, and right now, personal branding is actually something out there that are far more important than other type of branding that most people were considering in the past. What do you see people make, the common mistakes or the common patterns that people do all the time, which is counting as mistakes when it comes to grow their personal brand essentially?
I feel like people don't put enough consistency out on the internet. Everybody thinks one post, one story, one time, one book, one marketing agency, one podcast. Like, that's not how it works, man. Like, you're selling you, and you need to put yourself out there. People be like, oh, I only just want to like give a little bit. No, you got to give it all. Like, you got to show up all the time. Now, that doesn't mean you got to reveal your deepest and darkest secrets, the things that maybe very few people know, or you made some mistakes in the past. However, you can't be a robot online. You can't be too perfect, because people have this, they can smell when something's fake. They can feel it.
Mm,
Whether they can voice it here, they feel it here, or they feel it with their whole body. We all know when you watch someone, you're like, yeah, this guy, like, no. So people, one of the biggest mistakes is I don't see enough people leaning into their personal brand further. Like, you got to do it all, man. Like, you got to do it all. Like, this is 2023, man. You got to, like, there is never enough. I like what Grant said one day. He said, someone said, oh man, Grant, everyone saw this webinar. He's like, dude, no one saw this webinar. They're like, there's
yeah,
4,000 people. He said, that's no one. And when he, like, I remember him saying that, I'm like, yo, that's so true. Like, you've really got to effectively put yourself out there the right way, and the way, and ask yourself this too, like, why are you doing this? What's the outcome of this? Because there's nothing worse than people putting their personal brand out there when they're just trying to do it because they're being told to do it. You don't need to do that. But if you want to lean into this personal brand, you can get all the riches and the rewards and the opportunities, because people buy people. People buy you.
mm,
You reached out to me not because I had an agency, not because I was selling personal branding and media. You reached out because you get to know me, correct? Through my
exactly. Yep.
Instagram. There was a connection. I like this guy. This guy's got value. This guy's got a following. Like, you could get to know me before this phone call. That's powerful stuff.
100%. Yeah. Do you really think about, you mentioned true, do you really think about people are into this sort of like mindset where they feel like they want everything like instantly, like as you mentioned earlier, like people think about one post this and this, which maintains inconsistency. They're not consistent for what they are doing. Do you think they want everything like instantly without doing anything, or they want everything like right away? Like what's your thought on that? Do you think like that is also like one of the main reason why people fail in even building personal brand that require a lot of consistency?
I think people fail in life with that mindset. Who gave you the belief that it was going to take you 1 month? Who told you that? The marketing ad, the guy's in front of the car saying how he made 50 grand by working 33 minutes a day doing one post. Like, show me his bank account, firstly. Secondly, show me his backstory. Thirdly, like, show me the 1,000 clients that have done the same. Give me that. Then I'll make an informed decision. People do not understand the truth behind the intensity it takes to hit any kind of goal. Alex Hormozi was saying this to really what he just goes, people underestimate how long it's going to take. People just
So true.
understand the amount of phone calls it takes to close a deal, the amount of content that it takes to actually get traction. Dude, when I did YouTube, I've 57 million views, right? 500 videos. I did it for 7 years, right? I had to do 2 to 3 videos a week. It wasn't until year 2, year 3, right, that it started getting some growth. Like a little bit. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like 1,000 to 2,000 views. Then we started getting like 6,000. And then I remember cracking 10. Then it was like, 18 to 25, then 50. Like, but it took years. So
100%.
to your question, yeah, man, people don't want to People don't, I don't know if people don't know, or they don't want to hear it. Like what kind of sell is this? Think of this. If I said to you, hey man, listen, you want to create the biggest podcast for entrepreneurs? Awesome. Love that. Are you ready to like really go with this? You excited? You passionate? Awesome. It's going to take you 6 years every day, and you're not
Yeah,
going to get money for two. And guess what?
yeah,
You're not going to see any change in 12 months. Like, imagine you tell them
yeah.
something that they'll be like, I ain't doing
It's
this.
gone super hard. They're like, it's not possible for us to do it because they're not seeing any sort of like, upfront ROI into something like that in the initial start. They don't
Yeah,
believe in it.
yeah. I love when people. What's my ROI? Hey man, what's your ROI on your health? What's your ROI on your kids? Like, what's your
Hmm.
ROI on getting to your dreams? I'm quick to tell people like I'm cool, but I'm kind, but I'm firm. Like, I hear you, I know what you're saying. You have to get out of this ROI business. What about return on investment, return on energy, return on time? But you know what they're
Yeah,
really saying? You know what they're really saying? I'm scared. I'm scared. It's not an ROI problem. They're scared. Coming
yeah.
back to your
That's
question, when
so
people
true.
post on brands, it's they scared. They're scared to consistently put themselves out there because they're afraid of the fears that their mind has told them that will come, which never comes. Oh, if I put myself
Yeah,
out there, they're going to say this. Really? Show it to me. Show me. Oh, I'm an
yeah,
introvert. Show me. Where am I? Where are you? Who labeled you? I'm shy. Give me 50 clinical psychologists reports now tells me that. Oh, you can't because you're telling yourself these stories.
yeah. Building perceptions. Yeah, love it. That's so true. And even like when you talk about podcasting, like we had Pat Flynn on the podcast, a couple episodes back. He was doing podcasting for almost like 15 years. It's insane. A long span of time since he was doing podcasting. And that's what made him who he is, even in the space right now. And even for your case, you maintained a huge amount of consistency over the years to be who you are at the moment. So speaking about it, you help a lot of people out there build a credibility as well in the space, like building this authority and all those things out there.
Mhm.
Why some people were able to build it successfully, why some people not? Everybody wants to become number one thing in their space for what they do. Some people are able to achieve it, some
Mhm.
people don't. What are the factors which actually decides what are the people who actually go and achieve it versus the people who not, even though they try to make it happen? What do you think about it?
I think there's a few answers to that. These kind of questions, I tend to change how I feel in every month or so when I get asked these questions on TV or podcast or whatever
Yeah,
kind of media that I do. What I feel today on a Friday here in Miami is people aren't willing to skill up, firstly. People think, like, I'm always big on stories. So I'll ask someone, okay, you want to be number one. Like, I get this a lot. I want to be the next Tony Robbins. Awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing, right? Reconfirm that their thought is not a crazy thought. Great. Let
mm,
me ask you a question. How much money and time do you think Tony spent to get to where he's got to? And they're like, oh, his whole life. Yeah. How much money do you think he spent? Just
true.
give me a number. Like 10 million to invest in himself, 50 million. Oh, maybe like 10. Cool. How much have you invested? Nothing. Okay. People have this realistic ideal. They forget what the best have to do, including me, including me all the time. Look at any athlete. Do they do it by themselves? No, they have trainers, they have coaches, they have nutritionists, they have dietitians, they have strategic experts that can work with them on one specific problem. And you're telling me that you have a book and you want to be number one. Great. Well, let's talk about how much money do you want to spend to get to this goal. So that's probably my answer. A lot of people are not willing to skill up in the things to actually make them number one.
Yeah, so most people don't even commit to what it takes to become number one. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah, dude. Exactly. Right. And let me and I'm always raw and real on podcasts. Like I'm not afraid to tell this. Most people are not that good. Most people are not that great. Now that doesn't mean that's a judgment of your character and your value.
Hmm.
Like if
Exactly.
you're a singer and you're not good, fix it. Like go and get help. Like I work with a ton of speakers and a ton of entrepreneurs and a ton of thought leaders, and they think their message is the best ever. Of course you do. We all think that. Have you actually had people tell you the truth of your TEDx talk? Have you actually had people tell you the truth of your keynote, of your book? Oh no, you had the four people that are your family and your friends that want to support you. Come into
Hmm.
Hollywood. I used to live in Hollywood, man. They will break you. They will break you. They will just look at you and say, no, you're fat. You're ugly. Like they can do that because they're casting directors, right? They can be so
Giving
cold.
you a reality check.
But there's whilst it may not all be true, but there's a fact they're saying those things. They're not here to lie to you because they need to do exactly what they're looking for. So a lot of people just are not willing to be like, yo, you're not good enough to be number one. I want to make $25,000 a keynote. You get 2 grand now. Like, why do you
True.
deserve 25 grand? Why do you think you're good as Tony Robbins? You know, I could go on all day about this, man. But the problem is, here's the problem, is that most people's, they're very weak and the feelings, you've got to learn as a great communicator to share stories like I share with you so they can at least understand. Because if I just go, dude, you're not good, like no one's going to hire you. That's not uplifting. That's not helpful. That's not thoughtful. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, do you really think about, like, that's definitely an interesting conversation out there that you're talking about right now. I want to talk about, do you think that when people gets pointed out, as you mentioned, there are two ways to do it. Like one, hey, you're not good, and don't give any sort of reason. And then other person is there like, hey, you're not good just because this is this, and be better at this, and go ahead and do it. Do you think like some people get I would say like get into the ego and feel like, why that person have said this to me, like
Of course.
um, I deserve it, or I had to be on that. Like, so, like, what do you think about it? Like, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you might have been like these type of people out there who want to be, this number one and all that, and then when you tell them like, this is the way to do it, they're like, why are you saying this to me? Is there any other way around of it? So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Ego drives us. Ego is a pro and a con. We need ego. We need a little bit of ego, but for a lot of people, ego is drives them to not confront the truth, take
Hmm.
responsibility. The whole like it's not fair card. Like no one cares about fair. Like what works? What's working? And do can you do it from a place of authenticity or your own morals and values? However, morals and values get sometimes thrown out the window. Like when you want to get here, there are things you're going to have to do that won't make sense to you and that won't feel good, right? That won't like it doesn't. It's not clear. For me, the same thing. Like when I was trying to build my career as an entertainer, I thought it was about being the most talented and being the best. Yeah, talent is important, skill is important, but I didn't have the skills in what actually gets people to book me and pay me money. So my ego got
Hmm.
bruised because I would see other people and be like, yo, this guy's not attractive. He's not cool. He's not talented. He's not as funny as me. Why is he getting all the wins and I'm not? Maybe I need to remove my ego and go get some help.
Yeah. So it actually fueled you up in order to become that better person.
Yeah, you got to take responsibility, man. That's what I mean. Like, okay, you're not like, let's say someone wants to be great at sales. Like, it's okay, man. Like, you're not good yet. It's okay. Don't. That's not a judge. That's not a judgment of you as a person, and you'll always be the same. This is where you're at. This is where you want to get to. You're not good right now. So how do we fix it? When most people be like, how could you say that? You don't even know me. Like, yo. Like, that's not, you should be going, how can I fix it? Not, why did you say that to me? Because if
Yeah.
you want to be better and you can't take any kind of criticism, yo, like, get out. Go be a ghost online. Go, just don't play this game. I think that's
Yeah.
also why people don't put their personal brand out there, because criticism, which really isn't criticism, it's just words. Like, most people, what they say on a comment would never say that to you in person, right?
100%.
Right. So my theory is, like, maybe the comment doesn't even, they just like voice like, they
Keyboard
probably
warrior.
if you call most people who said bad comments, like, yo, what do you mean by that? Like, oh, I'm just joking. Or I'm like, yeah, it's just stupid. Very, very few people are writing comments when it comes to giving people their feedback. And I'm talking about in a unpositive way. They probably really mean that thought. It's just in the moment. They want to be funny. You can't read emotion via tone anyway. So I read it differently than you read it. So, but most people just get broken. Like, let's
Yeah.
say you're putting yourself out there and someone says you're fat. Okay, well, are you fat? Or maybe you're not fat. Maybe it was a bad angle, but the person said it. So, like, you gonna allow that comment to, like, ruin the whole day for you? Like, people say, oh, don't say anything bad. This is my favorite one. Hey, if you've got nothing good to say, right? Don't say it. No, you know what you're telling me? You just want butterflies and rainbows. If you don't have
Yeah.
anything good to say, don't say it to me. You're telling me, you know what you just shared with the whole world? I'm weak and I'll get eaten. Like, I want
Mm.
feedback. I want to push the noise. I want to press people. I want to push people because I believe in what I do. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the tremendous ways I can help people. So of course
Yeah.
I'm going to push you a little bit. I'm going to put some pressure on you, because it's like,
Yeah.
what kind of life do we live when no one pushes us back? Everyone's like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great. No. That's not how it works, man. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. I don't want to take a lot of your time out there right now. One of the last question I want to ask from you is, I was listening one of your podcasts that you did with actually one of my friends,
mhm.
and it was an amazing analogy that you were mentioning about that in part of networking, it doesn't matter like who you know, it's all about like who knows you. So I'm super curious to know about that. If you elaborate it further, and like how you differentiate between like who you know and who knows you, between that of it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that line isn't, for sure. It's not mine. I can't take credit for that. I do like this one though. It's like, it's not about the people that you have in your phone. It's the people that will return your phone call or pick up, and that is powerful stuff. Anyone could have Justin Bieber's number in their phone. Anyone could have anyone they value. Oh, you got Justin Bieber's phone number? Ooh, call him. Call him. Let me see. Because if he picks up or returns your call, like, your value. So
Mm.
at the end of the day, oh, I got a million-person email list. Great. So if you ask them all to fly out to Miami, who would come? There. That's what the value is.
Yeah. So
So
the people you can rely on.
yeah, well, rely is not right, probably the right word, because rely is, it's more about the value. Like, I know people have things going on. However, it's like, it's very clear, man. It's hard to, even for me, like, you think you have a relationship with someone, you try to call them, text them, email them, Instagram, they don't give you the response, or they just don't give you the time. Like, wow, like, I wonder what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, maybe I have to try a different strategy. Maybe I have to try something else, or maybe I have to just let it go. So,
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Well, JJ, thank you so much for being on the show today out there. Like, if people want to be the part of your world, where people can follow you, so that they can be the part of your world.
yeah, part of my world, we're going to Jupiter. Elon's going to Mars. Yo, screw it. I'm going to Jupiter. Like, let's go. You want to go global? No, look, if anyone's listening right now, and you're at a point where you're like, hey man, I'm doing the moves. We're making some money, right? Like, that's kind of running. However, I want to go faster and I want to get out to a new market, or I know that I need to position myself as like the go-to. Like I know when I see other people, they get stage opportunities, they get TV opportunities, they get opportunities thrown at them. Like that's all possible when you grow your brand, especially done the right way. And the great thing is, even if you label yourself as shy or as an introvert, or you don't want to be one of those guys, we can do it from a really holistic, authentic approach where you're not having to be someone you don't want to be or do things that you don't want to do. And whether we start together on a small level or you're like me and you're like, yo, man, money's here, let's roll. Let's meet, let's find out what makes you feel right. So I've got the opportunities, we've had the results, I've done it for myself personally. We have a money back guarantee as well, meaning if we don't hit you the services, we get your money back. Like there's there's the only way you can lose is you don't do the work. You don't actually
Hmm.
show up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I will post up the social media links of JJ so that you guys can follow him and if see if you're the right fit, work with him as well. Well, JJ, thank you so much for being on the show today out there. Any last thing you want to say before we round the show up?
Yeah, the words you tell yourself will either make you fly or make you die. Will fuel you or
Love
fail
it.
you, will bring you up or bring you down. If you start every day saying, I'm an introvert, I'm shy, no one wants to listen to me, who wants to work with me? Like, of course, tell the world, hey man, I can do it, I can be it, I can become it. I got a message to share, I believe in me. I know that I need to get this story out. Like, that's extreme amounts of enthusiasm and confidence and conviction that will radiate, man. That will radiate more than you think. So the words you tell yourself.
Yeah, love it. Again, JJ, thank you so much. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're definitely going to see you guys in the next episode. Until then, peace out.